Hey, folks. You can see only my neck. Can you guys hear me? It's been a while since I did this setup. Last time I did this was Spider-Man Far From Home. Yeah, Far From Home. That's the right one. Which was back in March. We're now in May 4th. Okay, I want to make sure everyone can hear me. That I'm good. You guys in? We got some people in the stream already. Spiders Prime, James Bond 007, Gzilla100 from YouTube, Nick Sheets from Twitch. Hello there. So hey, YouTube crowd, you finally got another live stream for the longest time. Twitch people, you're familiar with the live streams already. You've got a lot of exclusive stuff, but yeah, YouTube crowd, welcome back to the live stream. And hey everyone, it's Alexander the Real Mr. Robinson. Welcome to either YouTube or Twitch, depending on where you're watching this. And happy Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. And we're starting up a new live stream series. And because I'm a glutton for punishment, did I decide to watch the original trilogy, some Clone Wars, Force Awakens, or Last Jedi? No, I'm starting out with the Phantom Menace, which I'm doing this chronologically, so that makes sense. I did see The Bad Batch, the 70-minute long premiere, and you'd think 15 more minutes of that would have been a feature film. It was really good. I'm not going to do a episode 1 review of it, but I'm going to review the first season once it's eventually done. And with 16 episodes, we got some time. You should watch the Clone Wars, Nick. Season 1's a little rough, and the movie is absolutely dreadful. But it's worth checking out. Abomination 2008 says, what do you like about the Phantom Menace? Well, let's get into that, first of all. I don't want to waste anyone else's time. First of all, I want to get some housekeeping out of the way. If you are subscribed to me on YouTube, but you do not follow me on Twitch, that is twitch.tv/RealMrRobinson. I'm back to my regular streaming Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Throughout May, things might be a little wonky in terms of the schedule. Streams might be more random than originally scheduled, but come June, things will start to get a little better. I'll say that. At least that's the hope, because my day job at Universal just came back. And I'm trying to get back into the groove of balancing work with content creation. So again, if you're on YouTube, that's twitch.tv/RealMrRobinson. If you do not subscribe to me on YouTube, but you are on Twitch, that is youtube.com/TheRealMrRobinson. That's my main hub of entertainment, movie reviews, TV show reviews, all kinds of stuff. With theme parks starting to reopen, I'm hoping to get back into making a few theme park videos. At least when I can go back to Universal as a guest, and Disneyland, which with Disneyland it's probably not going to be until next year, but we'll see what happens. youtube.com/TheRealMrRobinson. A couple weeks ago, I hit 5,000 subscribers, and Twitch, I recently passed the 50 followers limit to where I can actually apply to be a Twitch affiliate, which I still haven't committed to. I might, but I don't really know if I want to dip into those waters. But if you really like what I'm doing, you want to help support me financially on either YouTube or Twitch, you could go to patreon.com/TheRealMrRobinson. You can support me for as little as $1 a month. But if you want access to exclusive bonus content that no one else gets to see, then you can go ahead and pledge $3 or more. If you can't support me financially, that's fine. Subscribing to me on YouTube or following me on Twitch is good enough. I will take that. And with that being said, let's hop into it. I want to give a special shout out to Nina Star 13 on Twitch, who followed me 5 days ago. For some reason Streamlabs is not showing the number of new YouTube subscribers, which is that's disappointing. All right, we're gonna get into Phantom Menace. I got everything ready. Got my box of Bunch of Crunch, which this is not a sponsorship, like Nestle. This is Nestle, right? Yeah, Nestle made Crunch. For some reason the logo's not here, but whatever the case, I doubt Nestle would ever want to sponsor me, because I'm that small. One little ground rule before we get started. let's try to keep the conversation strictly to Star Wars. Like with the video game Let's Plays. Hello there, Kurtzen TV. Welcome. Your name is in really dark blue, which is really hard to see on Streamlabs. But hey, welcome to the stream. But anyway, yeah, let's try to keep the conversations for these watch parties strictly to Star Wars as much as possible. And right out the gate, Giselle100 asked Mr. Robinson, I know this is Star Wars watch along, but have you heard of the Invincible Iron Man straight to DVD animated movie? I think I have. I really don't have any interest in seeing it. I mean, I just don't really care about Marvel animation, to be honest. I love the MCU, but Marvel animation hasn't been great since Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Anyway, yeah, let's hop into it. I'm going to hit the timer. I got the PS4 ready to go. We're going to push the play button on this 22-year-old movie now. "20th Century Fox, a News Corporation company. Not anymore." Yeah, the reason I have Bunch of Crunch here is because I can never watch a Star Wars movie without it. I mean, for this watch party, I'm not going to eat Bunch of Crunch every night because that's not healthy for me. Okay, everyone be quiet. Everyone shut up. And the crowd goes wild. This was the very first... I don't know if this is true to a lot of you out there, because I know some of you in the chat are probably a lot younger than me, but this was the first Star Wars movie I ever watched in a theater, and to see that long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, the Star Wars logo and John Williams' score pop up, it's a memory I'll never forget. Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Turmoil has engulfed the Galactic Republic. The taxation of trade routes to outlying star systems is in dispute. Hoping to resolve the matter with a blockade of deadly battleships, the greedy Trade Federation has stopped all shipping to the small planet of Naboo. While the Congress of the Republic endlessly debates this alarming chain of events, the Supreme Chancellor has secretly dispatched 2 Jedi Knights, the guardians of peace and justice in the galaxy, to settle the conflict. I think that was a fine Tom Kane impersonation. Yeah, this movie, great theater experience, but this movie begs a lot to be desired. This movie, yeah, just, I don't know. I don't think it's one of the worst movies ever made. Like, the way people paint this as atrocious is really unfair, because there's certainly a lot. There's a lot of hard work and creativity put into this. I just don't think it comes from the dialogue, the story, or the acting. I didn't hear about Tom Kane having a stroke. Or maybe I did. Yeah, I think I did. And I think that ship landing, maybe that was CG, but I know that later on, when it gets blown up, it's a model. Hello there, Razorbike. Welcome to the stream. And of course, we have to have this line. Yeah, the thing is, like, Qui-Gon, he's not written to be a very interesting character, but I mean, I get I don't know. The prequel trilogy only benefits from all the expanded material, mainly the Clone Wars. And even though I love The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, I feel like the sequel trilogy as a whole could benefit from expanded material as well, which those lip. I mean, ignoring the racial stereotypes, the uh, the lip movement on these animatronics is just so terrible. Send a droid. But yeah, the thing that makes the original trilogy the best out of the three trilogies is that it doesn't have to rely on expanded material to be great. It just has to rely on good stories and good characters. Is that legal? I mean, these movies have definitely created a lot of memes, which may be for the worst, but I know Revenge of the Sith is the most memeable movie in the entire saga. And that is a practical model that they just blew up. See, I mean, we'll get to the sequel trilogy in a couple of weeks, but I don't think, at least with Force Awakens and Last Jedi, I think they're great companion pieces to each other. It's not until you get to the Rise of Skywalker where it just all goes downhill. Yeah, as a kid, I used to do imitations of those droids. Or at least I like to try to record my voice and play it back, and it just sounds awful. Yeah, what do you think was gonna happen? Man, I still think the destroyer droids or droidicas are one of the coolest creations in all science fiction, not just Star Wars. And their blaster sound effects are pretty fantastic. Yeah, I think a lot of the memes for this movie come more from people making fun of the terrible dialogue than or just the weird line delivery than actually like praising it. See, I think that's an attempt to try to recreate the banter from the original trilogy, but I don't think it really worked all that well. That's a good way of looking at it all. Look at the sequel trilogy. It's the legacy of. It's more like the legacy trilogy than anything. God, Natalie Portman. thank God she became the great actress that she is. But in this movie, in these first two movies at least, those accents, I hate them so much. Yeah, Natalie Portman is so bad in this movie. She's even worse in Attack of the Clones. Yeah, you slimebag Palpatine. It is interesting that it is. I do find it funny that in this world, queens are elected, not born into royalty. Panaka, you traitor. I say that because like there's some expanded material book where he becomes a Moff in the Galactic Empire and then gets killed by Saw Gerrera. Swisher35, welcome to the stream. I like episode one. Not a great movie, but I enjoy it. There's stuff to like about episode one, and I admit I enjoy it just for nostalgia's sake because it is the first Star Wars movie I saw in a theater, but it's not a good movie. Yeah, the battle droids in these first two movies, they're at least competent. Huh? Like I don't know how, I don't like the goofy voices or the I don't like the goofy voices or just the incompetence of the battle droids later on. Speaking of incompetence, and look, I'm gonna make something perfectly clear right now. Um, I still hate Jar Jar Binks. There's nothing that will convince me that he's a good character, but I'm talking about the character. Like hearing what Ahmed Best went through in terms of like just really like having suicidal thoughts. It's sad. Like it's really sad. Um, that people like just really lost their shit in a negative way over a fictional character. Well, he didn't even try to deflect the blaster fires, just like this. Excuse me. Oh yeah, John Williams is the only person that keeps the these first two movies from being unwatchable. I mean, there's elements of this movie that are watchable without John Williams, but Attack of the Clones. Oh boy, that's a rough watch. If it wasn't for John Williams and Ben Burt. What are things? Yes, Turner Jenkins. Jar Jar has shown up. You know, something I just realized. Like the first half of this movie is pretty fast. Like we're already 12 minutes in, and Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon are on Naboo, and we're about to go to the Gungan city. And then suddenly when we get to Tatooine and Coruscant, yeah, when we get to Tatooine and Coruscant, the movie just drags like a snail. And then like everything on Naboo is fast paced. Everything on Tatooine and Coruscant is slow as hell. if there's one thing that the prequel trilogy did better than the sequel trilogy, it's well, outside of having a consistent story between all three movies, even if they aren't good, even if it's not told in a very good way, it's that they do a lot of they do things that the original trilogy could never have done, because of the limit of technology. Yeah, and it's like, why don't we see all these alien worlds? It's a galaxy. Yeah, like there's this huge sandbox to play with. Well, not just Ahmed Best, but you see history repeat itself with Kelly Marie Tran and Daisy Ridley, forcing them off social media. Um, it's just so it. I don't know. It makes me hate the Star Wars fandom. You saw a big doo doo this time. I should probably not do those accents because this movie is criticized for these accents sounding a little uh, racially offensive. But then again, the Gungans are the least racist caricatures in this series. This movie, I mean. Because it doesn't... It sounds alien-like. I mean, I still think Jar Jar Binks sucks, but I don't hate him the way I hate Skids and Mudflap in Transformers 2. Razorback on YouTube says the thing that every sane person says. Um, I think you meant to say fans instead of films, but no one hates Star Wars more than Star Wars fans. I mean, with the Gungans, I don't think the Gungans are racist stereotypes, but the I forget the aliens race that Gunray is. They're Asian stereotypes. Watto is a Middle Eastern stereotype. But I don't know. We'll get to Watto eventually. I have no idea what you just said. I don't think it's so much he doesn't look. I think he's supposed to be another species, another like subspecies of Gungan, or maybe just a fat one, because he does have his ears tied up like a ponytail. Um, what are the aliens called in what is the name of the species of Viceroy Gunray? Yeah, that's y'all gotta look behind you. Nemoidian, Nemoidian. Okay, gross. Oh, like literally, his eyes did the cartoon like erga. Yeah, I gotta say, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon handled that really well. Um, I want to attribute to that to them being more calm than Jar Jar, but I also get a feeling that's just bad, bad acting and bad direction. Yeah, if you listen to Gunroy's or all the Nemoidian voices, um, they just do not. They sound like Asian stereotypes. Their lip. I can't. I still cannot get over the fact that their lip movement on those animatronics are so bad. I'm gonna try to find your Twitch comment because I do not have. I do. I have Safari shut down on my computer so I can preserve battery power. Especially considering that these movies are longer than. Uh, Most of these movies are longer than a majority of the MCU or Godzilla movies. Okay, you're gonna have to post that comment again so I can try to find it on YouTube on my um, phone on the Twitch app. So it's that same giant fish just saved them again. Yeah, I mean the CGI on all the artificial stuff like the vehicles, the battle droids looks good, but on Jar Jar, Watto, all the living organic stuff. Uh, the best thing I could say is that Attack of the Clones looks worse. All right, look at the bottom left. Look, there's an extension cord coming out of the wall that's supposed to light up Amidala's dress. Okay, it's just a doom weapon. This is supposed to be this was supposed to be an extended sequence where yeah, Qui-Gon looks behind him and he sees a waterfall. The Senate. Now I think that's Keira Knightley. Pretty pretty generous of the Trade Federation to let the Queen change into another wardrobe. Um, Before they get taken to camp. There was something about a 4 hour long cut of Revenge of the Sith, which that movie doesn't need to be 4 hours long. If a 4 hour version, if people wanted to make a 4 hour version of Revenge of the Sith happen, they can just, and some people have by splicing the Siege of Mandalore arc in the Clone Wars. Yeah, this movie is moving. I mean, again, it's gonna slow down before you know it, but this movie is moving pretty fast. Yeah, Keira Knightley and what's her God, Natalie Portman switched back and forth in between in playing the Queen. Yeah, see, Natalie Portman's right next to her as one of the handmaidens. And I think there were a lot of moments on set where people got them confused. I have not seen Invincible. But that has to be, even though that's Keira Knightley, that has to be that's Natalie Portman dubbing over for her. Because if I'm correct, I think Keira Knightley was 14 when this movie came out. Um, did what look bad by 1999 standards? The CG? I mean, I guess not. But I mean, Jurassic Park and The Lost World looked a lot better. Like it's a lot of the aliens that don't look all that good, and it's more the movement. The Lucas cut of Revenge of the Sith already exists because Lucas had full reign over these movies. Okay, here's one of the coming up next is probably one of the worst the one of the worst line readings in the entire saga. Yeah, Natalie Portman was 17 when this movie came out. Huh? Wait for it. That never fails to make me laugh. Shield generator's been hit. Man, he just got introduced in this movie, and R2D2 still finds a way to be a dick. I mean, I guess by comparison of Chopper, R2D2 isn't bad. Oh, that R5 unit blew the dust. Blew the coop. Or bit the dust, I'm sorry. I'm mixing all my metaphors. I remember later in this movie, when R2D2 is called out by name and Amidala thanks him for saving their asses. Someone in the theater cheered. Like, it was just one dude who was cheering. And for some reason, I think it was I wanted to think for the longest time it was my dad, but it's like, my dad doesn't like Star Wars. Why would he have cheered? And there is the most useless character in this movie. In this trilogy. Like, again, this series is getting out of hand. Um, that, like, again, that goes to show you how much these prequels depended on extra material for them to be better. Yeah, again, one dude cheering. How did it get dirty in space? But okay, why did I even ask that question? Because why is there sound in space in this series? There's a lot of scientific elements that do not make sense in Star Wars at all. Man, I gotta say, Padme. Like, this is fine right here. This interaction between the two of them is fine, but in the Clone Wars, Padme, that shot is flipped because R2D2's little thing is on the wrong side. Um, hey, wait, was oh yeah, Padme in the Clone Wars is so tolerable of Jar Jar. Like he does, like they paint Jar Jar in that series to be Columbo. That doesn't surprise me at all because Natalie Portman was, yeah, she was 20 when Attack of the Clones came out. The Twitch crowd, for those of you who are on Twitch, James Bond 007 on YouTube says, weird bit of trivia here, but in an interview for Attack of the Clones, Natalie Portman said that the reason why she shows some skin in the climax of that movie was because she was no longer a minor. Not realizing that that's the queen. What line delivery are you talking about, James Bond 007? Oh, there's a Okay, I didn't know that ship existed this early in the Star Wars. That ship that just flew by when we cut to Mont Espa. Um, that is used in Rebels and the Disney era. Hey, see, Jar Jar Binks stepping in poo. But that ship that just flew by in the sky is used by the Empire to deliver AT-ATs. And there's a dewback. Oh. Yeah, Watto. Ugh. Oh boy, here he comes. I don't think. Okay, much like with Ahmed Best, fans should not have been attacking Jake Lloyd. Like, and even I'm guilty of that because in my review for the Phantom Menace, 6 years ago, the year The Force Awakens came out. Um, ugh. Okay, there's a lot to process right now, but okay, what I'm saying is, yeah, like Jake Lloyd, like this movie really screwed him up. And when you watch but that being said, he is terrible in this movie. And when you watch all the Anakin Skywalker test footage or the auditions with other kid actors, you wonder out of all the kids that did a better job than Jake Lloyd, why did George Lucas go for Jake Lloyd? That makes no sense. Huh? Yeah, another thing that just bugs me about this movie, at least, I know George Lucas has said that Star Wars is for kids, but uh, the original trilogy steered clear of poop jokes and nut getting kicked in the nuts. Yeah, Watto doesn't look all that great in terms of like rendering and CGI. I think it's um, I think it's I don't know. I don't to answer your question. Um, James Bond 007 on YouTube. Uh, is Liam Neeson tall or Natalie Portman short? Again, you have to take into account that Natalie Portman was still a kid. I mean, 17. You're a year old from being a legal adult, but she was still very young. Watto's a Toydarian. He's a Toydarian. That yippee. Yeah, now we're. Oh, you guys are. Some of you are behind. Okay. Okay, I didn't understand half of those words that Jar Jar was saying. Okay, look at that. There's a Rhodian in the background right there as Jar Jar's licking that thing. That Rhodian is not moving at all. Sebulba really does not look good. And again, I'm talking about CGI and rendering. Rude. Um, James Bond 007 YouTube says, "Don't women stop growing before men?" I would think you're wrong because I mean I because I don't think that's true. I know women are more mentally developed than men are, or they become more mature than men, at least from my experience. All right, this is going into uncomfortable route. Um, but I know Elizabeth Debicki from Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and no, not Dunkirk. Tenet goes to show you how much I don't forgot that movie. Um, um, what was I gonna shit? What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, Elizabeth Debicki is giant. Huh? Like she is so tall. Yeah, Star Wars. James Bond 007 says, "I'm surprised you know all the names of these different alien species." Yeah, Star Wars is one of those franchises that like you could spend hours talking about certain elements, like the alien species, the planets, or just random things in the background. Like, I can't tell you how many times my brother and I have gotten into nonsense conversations about just the things in Star Wars movies. That little toy model, that little wood carving there, that looked like Maz Kanata, even though this movie came out long before that character even existed. And also, I don't know why this decision to have Vader build C-3PO is a thing. Like, it's just, why? What's the reason? C-3PO is useless in this movie. Although I do like how C-3PO is brought to life in this movie. I mean, it's cute to see C-3PO and R2-D2 meet for the first time. And I do like how C-3PO is brought to life by, like, puppeteers standing behind C-3PO. Because 3PO is way too skinny to be Anthony Daniels in a suit, or any guy in a suit. Yeah, Sebulba is a Doug, James Bond 007. You might even say, it's a trap! Meanwhile, in Coruscant, which is why I'm going to throw you to the side like a rag once I find I have no use for you. Bit too soon, says Razorbike on YouTube. I gotta say, this Star Wars' definition of slavery is a lot more luxurious than slavery in America back in the day. Like, you at least get to go home and have a you at least get to go to a house. Huh? Laser sword. Whatever. Oh, Halloween 4. Gizel100 on YouTube says, saw Halloween 4. That movie's really good. Huh? It's not great, but I like that movie quite a bit. Again, I'll accept some. I'll accept some other franchise things, but then but let's again try to keep the conversation strictly to Star Wars as much as we can. Yeah, there's some times where Jar Jar Binks is just speaking a different language, and I can't understand it. The actress, I don't remember the actress's name, but the actress who plays Shmi Skywalker's maybe the worst actor in this movie. I mean, this is something like This is one aspect. Whenever I bring up the prequels to my dad, uh, she's the one aspect of the movie that he always points to as this is awful. That's funny, James Bond 007 on YouTube. Halloween, my favorites are the first movie. In terms of Halloween, the first movie, 4, and the 2018 movie. I like 3 and 2 as well. But 1, 4, and the Blumhouse version are the best for me. Because I am the queen. Qui-Gon must have such confidence to to bet on that. James Bond 007 says, so who's Anakin's dad, huh? You put that LOL at the end, but they'll talk about it later on, and I'll talk about it when we get to it. So I wonder if this is because Obi-Wan was Qui-Gon's apprentice. Huh? That must be where Obi-Wan had the confidence to take Han Solo's 10,000 credits offer to take them to Alderaan, and just up it by saying, we can pay 2,000 right now plus 15. Okay, here comes the explanation for Anakin's father, which is something I hate. See, right, there was no father. I carried him. I gave birth to him. I can't explain what happened. Basically, they're just saying it was a virgin birth. So, so yeah, that's the explanation, which I don't know. Yeah, Turner Jenkins. James Bond 07 says you're starting to get kind of bored. Yeah, I told you guys once we get to Tatooine and Coruscant, things get slow. Oh, by the way, that girl that said you've been working on that thing for years, that's Katie Lucas, George Lucas's daughter, who not only cameos in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, but she also wrote a few episodes of the Clone Wars. Yeah, the the virgin birth is just flat out stupid. Like, I get it's supposed to be like a Jesus metaphor, and Star Wars has not shied away from religious aspects, because the concept of the Jedi religion and the Force, you could definitely connect it to, like, Christianity or believing in God. And whether you like it or not, The Last Jedi really takes that message with Luke disavowing himself from the Jedi. But the virgin birth is just so... The virgin birth thing is so stupid. Yeah, C-3PO has no reason to be in this movie at all. That image right there of Jar Jar Binks sticking his tongue out by giving the thumbs up, that, I think, sums up this movie. Yeah, I think for the C-3PO R2-D2 introductions, like, it would have been better if C-3PO was as he is in the Clone Wars and Revenge of the Sith, Padme's personal droid, and R2-D2 was just a droid assigned to Anakin Skywalker for his Jedi Starfighter. At least with the Virgin Mary, there was some divine intervention. Sure. And I'm probably going to offend a lot of Christians by saying this, but how do I put this? Joseph got okay, I'm going to be nice about this. I'm not going to use the term I was going to use. Joseph got the short end of the stick in that scenario. It's like, man, I didn't even get to have sex with Mary, and she already has a kid. That's not even mine. It's not over 9,000? Okay, midichlorians. They'll address this later in the series, but I have mixed opinions on midichlorians. Funny that ship, that Sith infiltrator, I think it's called, only appears in this movie. As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't appear in the Clone Wars, and yet it's Darth Maul's playable ship in Battlefront 2. I know it was a long shot, and this is probably me trying to do what every other Star Wars fan does, and just tries to connect things to other things. But I wonder if because he said where everyone is right now is Mos Espa. But the first town that Darth Maul looked at through the binders, or the binocs, or the binocs. I wonder if that was Mos Eisley. And James Bond 007, he says, "You said you're more knowledgeable about Star Wars than you are Harry Potter." I'll help you with that once we get to the Harry Potter movies, because once we finish Star Wars, we're moving into to Harry Potter. Okay, that looks like some I can't tell if that's a green screen or not. I mean, it might be, but I do know that entire pod racer hangar, that was a model. That was a miniature model. So there's definitely, for as much as people complain about everything in this movie being CGI, there's a lot of model work in this movie. I think it's more when you get to episodes 2 and 3 where everything is more CGI. Yeah, Watto's belly button is something I'd never needed to see. I've seen this movie countless times, but this is the first time I ever even paid attention to that part of Watto. Um, James Bond 007 says, "Yeah, I know you were going to say, Alex. You didn't have to say it. I mean, I was raised Catholic, but I've had my doubts over the years. I teeter between Catholic and agnostic. I mean, well, I'm Christian, so I mean, I've said some scandalous things that would probably irritate Christians, or at least I was raised Christian, but I'm not a very good one." Oh, wizard. Okay, some people have criticized the age gap between Anakin and Padme, and yeah, it's a little creepy. Like, but in this first movie, I never feel like there's any romantic connection between the two of them. Like between 10-year-old Anakin and 17-year-old Padme. But in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, like they're both legal adults, so of course they can. It's not creepy in that sense, but or maybe in the sense that Padme knew Anakin as a kid. But okay, forget everything I said. Yeah, it's kind of creepy. But the age gap is the least creepy and thing about that romance. And there's Ben Quadraneros. Oh yeah, there's a deleted scene where Anakin was supposed to get into a fight with Greedo, which again, that thing I hate in Star Wars where they try to connect characters. Like every single character in Star Wars knows each other or is related to some other character, which I hate. But now they just have some random Rhodian as Anakin's friend. All these scenes where they're introducing all the other pod racers, this was never in theaters or the VHS version. This is what we're watching. I hope this is what you guys are watching. Is the extended version of Phantom Menace, which was the one on video on DVD and Blu-ray. Has that angel quote happened yet? Says Turner Jenkins on YouTube. Oh, we are long past that moment. We're at the pod race now. They're bringing out the flags, and we're about to get another taste of the awful humor in this movie. Fart jokes in Star Wars, ladies and gentlemen. Again, the original trilogy never stooped to that low. James Bond 007 on YouTube says, "I watched Goblet of Fire from beginning to end as a kid for the same reason I sat through Sleeping Beauty as a kid, despite being bored out of my mind for most of the runtime, because they both had dragons." Okay. Yeah, I like Goblet of Fire, but it's not one of the best in movies in the series. Hey, there's Jabba the Hutt, also known as the Donald Trump of Star Wars. Everyone sucks the toes of this guy, or in the case of Jabba, the tail, but he's just actually a scumbag. And I say the CGI on Jabba, it definitely looked better there than it did in either special edition version of A New Hope. Look at that little pit droid running. Okay, the movie's been pretty dull. I don't, because I am the queen. Okay, there are clues. Yeah, George Lucas has put clues throughout this movie that Padme is actually the queen, and that Sarabe, is it? I don't remember her name, but of the decoy that Keira Knightley plays. By the way, the entire movie, ever since we landed on Tatooine, has been slow. Now we get to the pod race, where it's like, oh wow, something's happening. But even then, only the first 2 laps of the pod race are cool. The last lap is just like, let's wrap this up because we know what happens. Hey, you know what? Pod racing is still better than NASCAR. Oh, man, poor Anakin. Oh, there's Warwick Davis next to Watto there. What is Ben Quadraneros trying to prove with himself by having 4 engines on his pod racer? And Anakin's like, screw you, Ben Quadraneros. Alright, that dude's dead. Also got a great Star Wars N64 game. Yeah, Star Wars Episode 1 Racer is fun. I mean, they made it available for the Switch and PS4. I have it on the Switch. I constantly forget that bounty hunter's name, but she pops up several times in the Clone Wars. I wish there was a more interesting way to shoot the pod race rather than just going from left to right. Like Chris, I never really noticed that aspect until Chris Stuckman pointed it out in his review. Oh, that poor dude. That poor bastard. Which, by the way, later on, after the race is done, you can see his family walking in the background crying. There's the Tusken Raiders. Man, Ben Quadranero sucks. He didn't even leave the finish line. I mean, it's true, James Bond 007, that like the comparison, a lot of people compare Trump to Jabba the Hutt, and it's really not much of an exaggeration. That must be Gascon's brother working the the food at this pod race. Like, yeah, because it's the same species. I don't know what the name of this alien species, but yeah, it's the same species. See, there's some aliens races that I don't know the names of in this movie or in this franchise. She kind of does. Millie Bobby Brown kind of has a resemblance to Natalie Portman, but not by a whole lot. James Bond 007. That question comes from YouTube, if those of you on Twitch are wondering. All right. Happy May the 4th be with you, Turner Jenkins. See you around. I don't know what that always made me laugh hard. Like just that pod racer going Rawr! Spinning out of control. Yeah, that's this moment where Anakin's just, which the fact that he didn't get sick or puke is pretty astounding. The fact, and also the fact that that pod racer is hanging on for as long as it is amazing as well. Um, yeah, we're kind of getting to the part of the movie where it's like, okay, can we wrap up the pod race because we know what happens. There aren't that many pod. There aren't many pods that left, so no point in prolonging this. Although the wreckage, the effects for like, oh, those guys are so obnoxious. But the wreckage effects on all the pod racers are so impressive. Yeah, again, since it's just Sebulba and Anakin, like there's no tension anymore. Like we know Anakin is gonna win because we gotta have the original trilogy at some point. Oh yeah, y'all run. Okay, those dudes that ran to the right towards the track, they probably got hit and killed by Sebulba, like killed on impact. Um. All right, you have a good night, Gzilla 100. that one dude's just like, I don't know if he's booing. He must be because he's doing the thumbs down. Houdini! Jesus, Sebulba's engines are huge. And oh, John Williams is here to tell us that things are about to get tense. Takes the lead. Those announcers are annoying. I wouldn't mind seeing a new Pokemon Snap just came out last Friday. Friday? This past Friday did it come out? Anyway, new Pokemon Snap came out. I wouldn't in the sense that they made a sequel to a N64 game. I wouldn't mind seeing a well, I guess there was Pod Racer Revenge, but I heard that wasn't very good. I'd like to see a more modern Star Wars Pod Racer game. Probably more intense as well. Yeah, we're near the end of this. Okay, so yeah, they are. Never mind. I forgot what I was gonna say. And there goes Sebulba's engines. God, the wreckage sounds and Ben Burtt's sound design is fantastic in all these movies. Fudu. That little Rhodian just going, yeah. Yeah, like the two announcers, the CGI on them looks terrible. Is that a Rhodian wearing a denim short sleeve jacket? There's what's his name? Bib Fortuna. I think if I'm correct, he's played by Matthew Wood, who does the voice for General Grievous. And he once again played Bib Fortuna in The Mandalorian right before, spoilers, Boba Fett kills him and takes over Jabba's throne. You made a bad bet, Watto. Lost 4 viewers. Okay, yeah, those little aliens that just walked by. Well, there's Maul's probe droid. They're screwed. But yeah, those aliens, that little aliens just walked by. That was the family of the pod racer that just went. Hello. Okay, it jumped back to 6 viewers, so good to see you still here, Nick. Jar Jar, and you know, if Jar Jar, it would have been funny if Jar Jar was like, Misa right here. Yes. Hello, Daquan Tate. Doing good. How are you doing on this Star Wars day? It's good to be doing these again, but I will say, once I'm done with Star Wars and Harry Potter, um, I'm probably going to be doing these live streams not as frequently and on Twitch only. With the exception of any future MCU or Godzilla movies. Like those I'll still be doing constantly on both YouTube and Twitch. Since I did them on YouTube, it's not really fair that I leave you guys out. I feel like James Bond 007 YouTube says, I feel like whenever I do decide to type in the chat, I end up saying a lot. Hey, don't feel too bad about it. If you have a lot to say, then go for it. But at the same time, don't write a long, like, Deathly Hollows type novel. Because I know sometimes I get a lot of. Well, okay, it actually doesn't happen as much as you'd think, but sometimes I get YouTube comments that are just like, it's pretty much like I'm reading a 5-paragraph essay or longer, and I'm just like, I don't have time to read this. I have heard of Invisible. A lot of my coworkers have been talking about it, but I just never had the time to watch it. Like, I'd like to see it, and I'm kind of interested in seeing The Boys also, which is also on Amazon Prime. But The Boys, I put off that. Hmm. I wonder if that little droid there would be the prototype for the BB units later down the line. Again, I'm just connecting shit that probably doesn't need to be connected. But I held off on watching The Boys because I'm sorry. I laughed because Razorbike on YouTube said, "Yeah, I'm trying to read YouTube comments, not War and Peace." that got a laugh out of me. Anyway, I held off on watching The Boys just because there's something about that show that just seems so pessimistic and cynical. Which, I mean, from what I've heard, it is, but like especially last year, it's just like I have no desire to watch anything that's cynical, and I just want to watch stuff that brings joy to me. Scott Vincent, hello there. Welcome to the stream. Would you ever rank the interpretations of Skull Island itself? If so, how would you? Um, I'd say my favorite is probably the one from Peter Jackson's remake because it feels more fantasy-like, and there's a wide variety of creatures. Then the Skull Island one, um, just because of all the more creative monsters than in okay, that shot when Darth Maul gets on a speeder and falls down the cliff. I thought he was raising his arms when he fell, but turns out that was just part of his robe. Anyway, 1933 movie would be third because it's all the creatures there are just dinosaurs. Nothing too fantastical or creative. All right, we're finally getting off this dirt planet. Um, and then the 1976 remake would be dead last. Because there's literally a giant snake and nothing else. Man, Darth Maul is so useless in this movie. Well, we're in space, so we already did the thing. Oh yeah, Daquan Tate. Daquan Tate on YouTube says, um, I started watching Harley Quinn on HBO Max, and I'm enjoying it. It's a great show. It's fantastic, and they started doing the voice recordings for season three. You're a democracy that has a queen as their leader. That's not really a democracy. But then again, this is Star Wars, so the galaxy works in mysterious ways than it does with our world. That droid sounded like he was from Boston. My troops are starting to search the search the lakes for these underwater villages. They will not stay hidden for long. Okay, maybe that was more Jersey than Boston. Uh, Scott Vincent said, "I will defend this film in that it inspired my middle name and was released the same year as my birthday." Oh, what is your, if you don't mind, what is your middle name? Razorбike says on YouTube says, "God, I'm howling at democracy with a queen." That's so stupid. Yeah, it's like DeQuantate on YouTube says Darth Maul is better in Clone Wars than in Phantom Menace. Yeah, he's not even a character in this movie. And when I think of Darth Maul, I think of Darth Maul from the Clone Wars, not like Darth Maul from the Phantom Menace is the last thing that ever comes to my mind. Vincent Anakin, Scott Anakin Vincent. Okay. Oh, Palpatine, you. Ugh. Yeah, the movie's gonna be slow a little bit, at least not until we get back to Naboo. Kneel before Zod, I mean Valorm. Oh, my voice. You know, I don't think Qui-Gon would need to speak to the Chancellor and get his permission to speak with the Jedi Council because that's a Jedi affair, not well, I guess Maul's inclusion is important to well, okay, not in this movie, but Maul going after the Queen does have a connection to the the Naboo invasion. I will say I like this movie better. Like we're at a boring part of the movie, but I like this better than Attack of the Clones and Rise of Skywalker. Like the fact that we have to end on the Rise of Skywalker hurts me inside. The worst, yes, this is the worst stretch of the movie. Everything in Coruscant, I get what it's supposed to do. It inches us, it gives the Jedi Council the revelation that the Sith are back, and it inches Palpatine closer to power. But man, is it slow. I would say I know people like don't care for the special edition changes in these movies. I mean, more in the original trilogy, but and while I'll always love practical effects over CGI, I am so glad they replaced that puppet Yoda from the Phantom Menace, because that puppet was not a good effect. Like, it just seems so lifeless and had no personality like Yoda in Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. And plus, putting a CGI Yoda here is just more consistent with Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. I forget. Master Poof in the background just doing this. Oh, the Jedi on the right screen. No, on the left side, right before Mace Windu said, "You refer to the prophecy as the one to bring balance to the Force." That was Mace Windu's Padawan, and also Kanan Jarrus's master from Star Wars Rebels, who we saw uh, in this first episode of The Bad Batch. I forget that Jedi's name. So I think it's pretty interesting that a pupil of one of these Jedi is also on the council. I mean, granted, they're all pupils of Yoda at some point, whether they were trained directly by Yoda or trained as younglings. But I mean, that Jedi is DePaul Bilaba. DePaul Bilaba. This scene is so boring. Again, I get the reasoning for it, but I don't know. Recently elected. Okay, so she's not been queen for. She hasn't been queen for a while. Actually, there is proof. Yeah, there is a ton of proof that the Trade Federation invaded Naboo. But I don't think the like showing politics in Star Wars is not a bad thing at all. But the way this is presented is just so sluggish and dull. Padme, you fool. Oh, there are Wookiee representatives from Kashyyyk there. There's ET down there. You said ET's race down there. Oh, absolutely, James Bond 007, who says, The Phantom Menace is better than Attack of the Clones, Rise of Skywalker, and the Clone Wars movie. Yeah? Most impressive, huh? Yeah, I really don't mind the CGI Yoda here. He looks better here than he does in Attack of the Clones. Huh? Now, granted, this CGI Yoda like this movie came out in 1999, but this CGI model of Yoda was inserted into the movie in 2011. So, by process of elimination, it should look better than uh, Yoda in Attack of the Clones. Yeah. Words of wisdom right there. Like that really is a good thing. I don't know. Like that's good advice from Yoda, but the advice that he gives Anakin in Revenge of the Sith, where don't mourn the dead, that's terrible advice right there. I don't know. I love Godzilla like you more than Star Wars, says Vincent on YouTube. In your opinion, can a lightsaber hurt him? Well, I'll tell you this. In the Clone Wars, there's a 2 episode arc about the Zillo Beast, which is clearly like Star Wars making a Godzilla movie, or at least the closest part to a Godzilla movie. And Anakin tried to swipe his lightsaber at the Zillo Beast. It did nothing. So, if the Zillo Beast, a far weaker creature than Godzilla, could not be affected by a lightsaber, then I'm pretty sure Godzilla wouldn't be affected by a lightsaber either. Oh, Bale. Oh no, Bale Antilles. That's not. Wait, Bale Antilles of all around. I think he meant to. I think he meant to say Bale Organa. Oh yes, we're finally leaving Coruscant. He'll bring back sanity, but not compassion, and he'll bring back sanity in a way where like there'll be order, but not in a way that pleases everyone. Mace Windu, I'm sorry, like he was a terrible Jedi. Not in the sense that he's boring or uninteresting, but the fact that he like if there was a poster child for everything that went wrong with the Jedi Order, the hypocrisy and failures, it would be Mace Windu. I mean, the council has made a lot of dumb decisions, but with Mace Windu calling a lot of the shots, probably more than Yoda, he was the reason why the Jedi Order fell. Yeah, the age gap, James Bond 007 on YouTube says, is only weird when Anakin and Padme were young in this movie. I feel like if Qui-Gon Jinn had survived long enough, he might have. I wonder if he would have gone down the route of Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi, where he lost faith in the Jedi Order. I mean, it happened with Ahsoka. I wonder if Qui-Gon will guest star in the Obi-Wan miniseries. Okay, you know what? Here's the thing about yeah, as a ghost, obviously, Scott Vincent. Here's the thing about midichlorians. Like everyone else, I used to hate midichlorians, and I prefer the Force when it's more a magical thing as well. But there's still, listening to this, there's still some sort of fantasy element to describing midichlorians. So I'm at peace with midichlorians. Yeah, I feel my John Williams. I feel the same excitement that John Williams and Jar Jar Binks are projecting about. Yes, we're finally leaving Coruscant. Okay, so Anakin learns really quickly. Anakin manages to figure out all the controls for the Queen's starship, but he can't find the trigger on one of the N1 starfighters. That doesn't make sense. So wait, where did all the other droid control ships go? Because they said there's only one. When every time we saw it, there were a handful. And now we leave the worst part of the movie for the best part of the movie, says Razorbike on YouTube. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you read Colin Trevorrow's Duel of Fate script, while it has problems, um, it felt like a natural progression from The Last Jedi. So if they just went ahead with Colin Trevorrow's original script, or didn't get rid of Colin Trevorrow, whether that movie would have been good or not, because it's impossible to tell if his episode 9 would have been better. I mean, I feel like it would have been better, but good or not, it would have been impossible to tell. But I feel like if that, if that version of episode 9 had been made, the sequel trilogy would have had a plan, because Rise of Skywalker only exists the way it is just to appeal to those childish man babies who bitched constantly about The Last Jedi. But yeah, by default, I will watch The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi over any of the prequels again, even though I do like Revenge of the Sith. But as a whole, yes, George Lucas did have this story of the prequels laid out. But it's not good at the end of the day. It's not, I mean, with the exception of Revenge of the Sith, it's not a good story. At least in the way it's told, because the story itself is good. I mean, the story throughout the trilogy has the potential to be good, but it's just not told in the best way. Man, if only other nations would not be as egotistical to think, yeah, we're better than you. That, that's such a weird trait to show that Boss Ness agrees. That chair does not belong to you. Okay, that part, he sounded like Sam Witwer, some performance as Maul in the Clone Wars. Oh, hello there, Mr. Godzilla. I don't think I've ever seen you on this stream before, or any of these streams before, but welcome. Nick Sheets on Twitch says, "Well, Alex, I just finished one of the last 2 assignments I have for this year of school. Then I'll finally be free. Congratulations, man." Okay, thank you, Mr. Godzilla, for actually being respectful to someone else's opinion about preferring The Last Jedi over the prequels. Oh, you are Scott. Okay, I didn't know you changed your name. Huh? By the way, I hope when The Last Jedi comes up, I'm gonna bring this. When we get to The Last Jedi, I'm going to make as perfectly clear as possible. Do not be an asshole, because I know that movie is so divisive. We're prepared to do our. It sounds like we're ready to do acid part. I don't know. Let's Let's also not forget the fact that Naboo pilots suck. Nick Sheets on Twitch says, also, if you didn't see my see me say this earlier, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan should have left Jar Jar to get run over by the MTT carrier at the beginning of the movie. Yeah, I should have. But then again, whether you like it or not, you need Jar Jar Binks to set up everything that leads to the rise of the Empire. Yeah, once that shot of the Gungans walking out of the fog, this is where the movie is at its best for me. I mean, there's some bad comedy moments and some lackluster CGI, but I think everything about this final battle is tons of fun. From the music, the sound design, it's fun all around. Man, that blast from the destroyed tank really did take out those droids. Roger, Roger. I like Rogue One a lot. Rogue One, The Force Awakens, and The Last Jedi are the best movies of the Disney era. Oh, yeah, we're gonna get some Wilhelm. We're gonna get two Wilhelm screams coming up. Huh? There's one, and the second more memorable one is about to pop up. Huh? That one. It is interesting how after The Force Awakens they stopped using that scream. And that's why I say Naboo pilots suck. That is a flipped shot because again the little projector on R2-D2 is on the wrong side. Stormtrooper. I prefer Stormtroopers, Mr. Godzilla. Stormtroopers look intimidating. There's just a sense of fear when you see them. The battle droids really aren't all that threatening looking. Especially when you consider how much they just, I don't want to say butchered, but they really, like, made the battle droids comedy relief in Revenge of the Sith and the Clone Wars. And it makes you wonder, like you have to ask initially, how did this war last as long as it did with the battle droids being as incompetent as they are? And the only reason for that is because Darth Sidious was playing both sides. I find, I'm sorry, I find the battle droids in the Clone Wars degrading. Granted, they're pulled back starting with season 4, but in the first season and the movie, as the Gungan general says there, ouch time. Like, I just can't stand. I can't stand the incompetence of the battle droids in the Clone Wars. Yeah, are you sure making Jar Jar a general was the right decision? Because, I mean, he fell off his Kadu. I think that's what it's called. And then there's that. I was right. It is called a Kadu. And X-Men Origins Wolverine ripped off this moment when with the introduction of fake Deadpool. I I may have said this before on one of my other Phantom Menace videos, but I have some controversial opinions about the lightsaber duel. Not so much this duel specifically, but also just the entirety of all the lightsaber duels in the prequel trilogy. Um, while the choreography is very impressive, like the choreography in the prequels is amazing. Um, I don't get the impression that each side is attacking each other. I just feel like they're attacking the blades. They're trying to hit the blades and not actually attack the opponent, which is something that in the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy they did. Okay, Anakin, a button is not a trigger. That wasn't a trigger. That's a trigger. Again, he knew all the inner workings of the Queen's ship, but not a Naboo starfighter. Yeah, I like the duel. This duel only works because of Duel of the Fates. Like Duel of the Fates really is one of the greatest pieces of music written for the Star Wars saga. Um, but the choreography is just too much. But then again, this is in terms of choreography, this is the best duel of the prequels. Um, no, I'd say it's the best overall in any aspect because the duel between Anakin and Obi-Wan in Revenge of the Sith goes on for too long, and there's a lot of over-the-top moments between Yoda and Sidious. I think it would have been really funny. I think Hello Greedo said this on one of his videos, but it would have been funny if there was an Anakin no no if there was just an adult-sized helmet in the Naboo starfighter and Anakin it was just too big for Anakin. That would have been fun. But whatever. Yeah, all that's dumb luck. That was easy. I'm sorry. Space battles in Star Wars is my kryptonite, so I apologize for not being active in terms of talking. There's another meme for you. Um, Mr. Godzilla says, I'd like to ask, and I think James asked this as well earlier, where would you put the Toho Skull Islands in your ranking? Probably right there with the 1976 remake, because there's not, like, you don't explore Faroe Island at all, and there's not much going on in Mondo Island either. And they're not, like, there are only 3 movies that have a really developed Skull Island. The 1933 movie, the Peter Jackson remake, and Kong Skull Island. Yeah, they're above the 76 movie, but even then, they're not great. Oh, Qui-Gon just did this to Darth Maul. This finale, again, the Naboo stuff moves quickly, um, but all the stuff on Tatooine and Coruscant is as slow as a snail. We're not even 2 hours. We're not even past the 2 hour mark. Retreat! Oh yeah, here we get some more foolishness from Jar Jar. I used to always play this fight in the Lego Star Wars game. The lightsaber duel. Jar Jar runs like an idiot. Again, this is all like they're trying to paint Jar Jar like in the Clone Wars. They're trying to paint Jar Jar like Columbo, where he just pretends he's dumb. No, he's actually dumb. Like Jar Jar just has an unbelievable stroke of dumb luck. Like that. He can't grab the Boomba, and like it conveniently hits a battle droid. Huh. That that droid bit the dust. Yeah, y'all really want to start opening fire on four. I count 4, but I feel like there may have been more than 4 droidicas. Yeah, there really would be more. I feel like there have been a lot more better child actors who could have played Anakin, and I also believe that we didn't need to see Anakin as a kid. Like as a teenager, that would have been a better place to start him out with. Um, no, I think Chris Stuckman said that. What did he say? Because I know I I honestly don't remember his Phantom Menace review for some reason, outside of pointing out that the pod race scenes are shot from left to right, left to right, left to right constantly. No. Hmm. It's like y'all are surrounded. You can't really do much. I do like the Naboo blaster sounds. That battle droid just tripped over another battle droid. You dumb Trade Federation. What are your speed? It's like they sent. I forgot what their species were again, but yeah, you just sent the droids after the decoy when the real queen was right there the whole time. Okay, that part's impressive. But again, I still get the impression that they're just hitting the blades rather than trying to attack each other. And there are parts where they're trying to attack each other, like right there. But most of the time in the prequels, I just get the impression that they're trying to hit the blades and not actually strike each other. Patrick Star or Jar Jar Binks, who's dumber? Um, Jar Patrick Star didn't ensure the rise of a fascist dictatorship and turned a democracy into an empire. So I think Patrick Star wins. I think Jar Jar is dumber just on the basis of that. There go those super proton torpedoes. I say super proton torpedoes because in Rogue Squadron 2 Rogue Leader, wow, he was a that dude was a ventriloquist for a second. But yeah, I call them super proton torpedoes because in Rogue Squadron 2 you can play as a Naboo starfighter, and their proton torpedoes are more powerful than the X-wing or the B-wings. No, no, that was back on Tatooine, as Mr. Plinkett would say. All right, Mr. Godzilla. He says, "While I do not like the sequel trilogy, one thing I feel bad about is how all the actors are going to be associated with these divisive characters. I don't think they're all that divisive. I just think people are making it a much bigger deal than it actually is. We also have to keep in mind that uh, the people that are defending the prequels now, either only associate with the Clone Wars, because the Clone Wars is really the better thing, not the prequels. And also, they were kids when the prequels came out. I feel like once the generation who grew up with the sequel trilogy gets older, they'll have more of a say than they do now. I'll be back in the Clone Wars as an actual character. So I think further down the line, Ray, Finn, Poe, I'll even throw in Rose there, will get more appreciation as the younger generation gets older and has a voice. Mob bot. Spider's Prime says, then Maul returns from the dead and becomes a mob boss. Yeah. Also, the use of then, it's supposed to be, I hate to be this kind of asshole, but it's supposed to be THEN, not THAN. All right, movie's done. Well, not quite. We still have to wrap things up. Oh, there's Ben Burt in the far right. Right before the camera pans to the left and Captain Panaka says, I guess you can kiss your trade franchise goodbye. Ben Burt was one of the Naboo guards, who's the sound designer for the first 6 Star Wars movie. Foreshadowing. Chris Stuckman said that it would have made the space battle more interesting if Anakin had a child-sized helmet. Okay, yeah. Ugh. No, you won't. I think that's Warwick Davis in a suit before it cuts to a close-up with the CGI Yoda. I have watched Spaceballs, Mr. Godzilla. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember it being a lot of really funny. Yeah, I don't really feel anything. Like, Qui-Gon wasn't much of a... I don't know. Yeah, the character work in this movie is just terrible. Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money. As a kid, I never really put it together that Darth Sidious and Palpatine were the same person. But then again, when I was a kid, I didn't pay attention to anything in Star Wars except the visuals and the action. Okay, yeah, enough of Qui-Gon's funeral. Let's have a big celebration. Uniting the Naboo, citizens of Naboo with the Gungans. There's little Anakin with that Padawan braid. Which, I gotta say this, I don't mean to put one of my coworkers on the spot, and I'm not gonna mention this person's name, but, wow, Yoda is pissed. That shot of Yoda, it's like, he is sick of Jar Jar's foolishness as much as anyone else is. But anyway, like, I consider myself a nerd, but one of my coworkers, actually has an honest-to-God Jedi braid, like braid, a Jedi Padawan braid. I'm like, okay, suddenly I seem normal by comparison. Yeah, not terrible. Every time I watch this movie, I said this when I did a recap of the prequel trilogy 2 years ago, but Phantom Menace is just a giant ball of mediocrity. There's a lot that I really like, and then a lot that I really dislike. Gavin Bacquet is the production designer in this movie. Trisha Biggar. That's the costume work that she does. Even if Amidala's costumes are so overblown, they are impressive, and Trisha does some fantastic work with the costumes. And of course, John Williams, the guy who keeps this trilogy from being unwatchable. All right, I gotta pee, so I will be right back. I'm just gonna let the credits play because I'm not gonna stop John Williams. Why would I ever stop John Williams? I will be right back. I'm back, folks. Sorry, I also had to open up a window because I've been sweating through a lot of this stream. But anyway, that was the Phantom Menace. Thank you guys for joining me. Now, normally I wanted to do my Attack of the Clones watch party on Thursday, but I work to a point where I'm not going to be home in time to be ready at 6. So, but I don't work tomorrow, so we're going to move Attack of the Clones to tomorrow. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. Join me for not the most insulting Star Wars movie, because I think that's The Rise of Skywalker, but probably the most boring Star Wars movie ever made, Attack of the Clones. Ooh, sorry. Anyway, James Bond 007 says, I don't know who Hello Greedo is. Hello Greedo's a YouTube channel. He basically wears a stormtrooper helmet with just regular human clothing. He's pretty funny, but he's very insightful, and in a sea of terrible Star Wars YouTubers, and by that I mean people who are just horrible, sexist, racist, and just bigoted human beings, Hello Greedo is a guy that wears a stormtrooper helmet, and yet he is the most sane and level-headed person in the Star Wars YouTube community. I like him quite a bit. He's one of my favorite YouTube channels, but he hasn't posted anything in a long time, which, I mean, he might have personal things going on, which is fine. Anyway, all right, to get going to bed, Razorbike says, I have school tomorrow, so I hope you all have a good night and stay safe, healthy. I will see you all on Thursday for Attack of the Clones. Yeah, it's gonna be Wednesday this time because of my work schedule. Um, but anyway, yeah. For those of you who I'll do this again. For those of you following me on Twitch, thank you for helping me get to 50 followers. Is Star Wars Theory one of the better ones? Because for some reason, the stuff I've seen of Star Wars Theory is not the best. I prefer Star Wars Explained, but that's just me. Probably because both Alex and Molly are part of the Schmodown community. I have a lot of friends in that community. Well, so maybe that's why I like that. Maybe that's why I like Star Wars. No, I mean even beyond the Schmodown, Star Wars Explained does a lot of read the novel from Del Rey, spelled R-E-Y. That's ironic right there. Okay, I didn't know the credits were going by so quickly, there's a number to call with any problems with the theatrically released presentation of this movie. That was bizarre. Anyway, again, I want to thank you guys for following me on thank you guys for following me on Twitch and helping me get to 50 followers. If you do not, if you're following me on Twitch but you do not subscribe to me on YouTube, that is youtube.com/TheRealMrRobinson, which is my main hub of entertainment, movie reviews, some TV show reviews, and other videos. Today, I finally put up my long-delayed spoiler review for Godzilla vs. Kong on Star Wars Day, of all things. But definitely check that out. Tomorrow, I have my review up for Disney's The Sword and the Stone, as well as my live watch party for Attack of the Clones. I have a lot more videos coming, so just hang tight. And for those of you who subscribe to me on YouTube, thank you for helping me reach 5,000 subscribers. But if you do not follow me on Twitch, that is twitch.tv/RealMrRobinson. My stream for Twitch is going to be a little more random throughout May, but come June, since I've adjusted my work schedule for June and beyond, you'll look for a more you're going to look for a more regular schedule starting in June. Mr. Godzilla asks on YouTube, Rise of Skywalker, King Kong Lives, or All Monsters Attack? In the order of movies that I would rather watch over the other, All Monsters Attack, because I think it does have a good message, and there's an innocence to it until it gets butchered at the end of the movie. Rise of Skywalker, even though I think that movie's terrible, it's at least competent and well-made, unlike King Kong Lives, which is just atrocious. It's abysmal. And then that's pretty much it. Anyway, if you do not follow me if you want to help support financially, if you like what I'm doing on both YouTube and Twitch, and you want to help support financially, that is patreon.com/TheRealMrRobinson. On YouTube, I'm going to start listing all the patrons who are all the people who are pledging on Patreon, and you can pledge just as little as $1 a month. But if you want access to exclusive content that no one else gets to see, like individual TV episode reviews, you can pledge $3 or more, and if we get to certain goals, I can be able to do some more content. So go check out patreon.com/TheRealMrRobinson. If you cannot support me financially, that's fine. Just subscribing to me on YouTube and following me on Twitch is good enough. And speaking of Twitch, let's see if we can actually raid somebody. It's been a long time since I've done a raid. If Twitch can load, come on, Twitch, old pal. Who is online that we can raid? There's Brizzy Voices playing new Pokemon Snap. There's Double Toasted with the weekly Roast and Toast. There's Mr. Revan7, aka Chris Herman, who's playing Returnal. Jackie Jing, who's just chatting. That Cybert channel, who's playing The Binding of Something. And then there's Mystery Science Theater 3000, just airing old episodes. How many people are watching on Twitch? Let me just take a look at that before I take off. 2 people are watching. Let's do a raid tomorrow. Yeah, let's take somebody. Yeah, let's just save a raid for tomorrow. So keep that in mind, folks. Tomorrow when we do Attack of the Clones, we will be. James Bond 007 says, perhaps better words to describe the Rise of Skywalker would be lifeless and soulless. Yeah, I would say that. But we'll get to that train wreck when we get to it. Anyway, thank you guys for joining in. Tomorrow, Attack of the Clones, 6 p.m. And instead of Bunch of Crunch, I might have some alcohol because, that movie's a chore to sit through. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. And until next time, this is the real Mr. Robinson telling you there's only one. May the Force be with you. And the 4th, because it's